Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. In recent years, the United States has relied on its leading position in the chip field to continuously try to modify chip rules in an attempt to hinder China's acquisition of high-end chips and cutting-edge semiconductor production equipment, and even joined forces with its allies to impose restrictions in an attempt to curb the rise of China's chip industry. However, the US restrictions have not only failed to achieve their goals, but have exacerbated the complexity of the problem. The restrictions on high-end chips have not worked, while the mature process chip field may face the risk of being reversely restricted. Faced with this situation, the United States and Europe have joined forces again, but it seems that the best time has been missed. The US chip restrictions on China mainly focus on advanced processes. The early restrictions were concentrated on processes of 10 nanometers and below, focusing on ASML's high-end EUV lithography machines and other high-end chip manufacturing equipment. In October 2022, the United States adjusted its chip rules again, raised the restriction standards, expanded the scope of restrictions to processes of 14 nanometers and below, and with Japan and the Netherlands to jointly restrict the export of key equipment such as immersion DUV lithography machines. This means that for processes above 14 nanometers, including mature processes such as 28 nanometers, there are no restrictions. On the one hand, the US strategy is based on the belief that as long as the development of high-end chips is curbed, China's high-tech progress can be effectively hindered, thereby eliminating potential threats and ensuring that its chip companies can obtain high profits. On the other hand, the US has not implemented a comprehensive blockade, because mainland China has become the world's largest chip market. 70% of the world's chips must pass through mainland China, and many US chip giants have businesses in mainland China, and their revenue accounts for a considerable proportion. In the first few years of the global chip shortage, the United States even relaxed certain restrictions to use companies such as SMIC to produce mature chips. In addition, the blockade of mature processes is difficult to implement, because mainland China already has many semiconductor equipment companies. Although they are not advanced enough in process, they have layouts in various segments, and most of them can meet the needs of mature processes. Therefore, mainland China has taken advantage of the trend and focused on the development of mature process chips. After all, mature processes will still be the mainstream demand of the market at present and in the coming years, and the chip production capacity ratio of 28 nanometers and above mature processes, and 16 nanometers and below advanced processes, is 7:3. As a result, mainland China has vigorously expanded mature process chip factories. Currently, there are 44 wafer factories and another 22 are under construction. SMIC alone has invested more than 170 billion yuan in total and built 4 mature process wafer factories in Beijing, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Tianjin, and other places. The production capacity will double after all are put into production. Therefore, it is expected that the production capacity of mature process chips in mainland China will increase significantly in the next 3 years. According to a report from a professional market research institution, Taiwan accounts for 49% of the global mature process production capacity, mainland China accounts for about 29%, the United States accounts for only 6%, and the European Union accounts for even less. Forecasts show that the proportion of mainland China will continue to rise. By 2027, the proportion of mainland China is expected to exceed 33%, while the proportion of the United States will drop to 5%. Another forecast points out that the production capacity of mature process chips in mainland China will increase to 30% to 50%, and it is expected to achieve a dominant position by then, because mainland China has complete supporting facilities and the lowest operating costs in the world, and has a significant price advantage. Not long ago, the chairman of PowerChip also said that it would no longer expand mature process production, because it could not compete with mainland Chinese manufacturers. In this regard, the United States has also realized a new problem, that is, it may rely on mainland China for mature process chips in the future. So it began to worry about being strangled in the opposite direction. In January this year, the United States began to investigate the dependence of important departments on mature chips. Recently, the United States and the European Union issued a 12-page joint statement after the Trade and Technology Committee meeting, TTC, in which cooperation in the semiconductor field was the focus, and plans to investigate the traditional semiconductor supply chain. Traditional semiconductors mainly refer to mature process chips. After completing the investigation, the United States and Europe will take follow-up measures for mature process chips. The specific details have not yet been clarified, but the main purpose is to reduce external dependence. This shows that the United States and Europe have recognized the dependence on mature process chips and may further expand restrictions in this area. In this regard, some foreign media bluntly pointed out that it is too late to take action now. Because when the United States restricted advanced processes, mainland China had already set off a wave of chip construction, not only expanding wafer fabs on a large scale, but also accelerating the localization of semiconductor production equipment. It is important that while mainland China vigorously develops mature processes, it has not neglected the research and development of advanced processes. The return of Huawei's self-developed Kirin chips is a strong proof. Therefore, the United States and Europe have now joined forces to restrict mature processes, and have completely missed the best time.